Welcome to Healing Wisdom, a Thursday morning talk show featuring guests sharing their stories and knowledge. We discuss the healing aspects of the arts, metaphysics, social justice, and adventure through all types of terrain. So join me, Pandora Peoples, here on WOMR 92.1 FM in Provincetown and WFMR 91.3 FM in Orleans. We're streaming worldwide at WOMR.org. Our theme music is provided by Mason. You can find her website at masonmusic.com. That's MAESYN. Hello out there. My first guest today is West Gambian Kora harp player Salieu Suso, bringing the African Renaissance to us this July 16th at the Fabulin Theater in New York City as part of the Festival of Possibilities brought to us by the Foundation for New American Art. Welcome, Salieu. Thank you so much for being with us today.
You are very welcome.
You were born in the Gambia into a traditional musical family. What was that experience like?
Well, I was born in a musical family back in the Gambia. It is something very kind of spiritual because the thing is, everybody can play music, if you learn how to play it. But, to grow up the family that, been playing music for many, many generations, this is something like a spiritual follow-up in terms of traditional music. So back in those days, parents are very busy in their work, and then they have to do farming, to make sure the children's and the family, survive, and then they live good. And all those things in between to have a music that children could learn and then become a professional musician, to take over the tradition, to put it out in the communities, in the country, in the region, out there in the world. So it's very special, something.
You have siblings?
Yeah, I have siblings.
And were you chosen early on to carry on this tradition, or do you all play music?
Yeah, at the beginning we all play music because it's not like you choose to to be a musician. Back in those days, it's like you born into it, so it's something you have to do it. So your parents be like expecting you to do it. So later on, whatever you decide, your desire is you want to do, so they don't have no problem with that. But the problem is that they want you to keep up the tradition so that in case tomorrow, if they are not there, so you also have, children, so they have something to follow, so that whatever you passed on to them, so they also can pass it on to their children.
Can you talk about the significance of the kora itself and share what type of instrument it is and the spiritual significance, how it's used in your spiritual practices?
Kora is a traditional instrument made out of gourd or calabash or calabasha with a cowhide, rosewood, and the strings are nylon. But back in the days, these strings are, animal skin. This animal called antelope. They're using antelope skin to make out a kora. And back in those days, when I was growing up, and I realized, that gourd, rosewood, and the cowhide with an antelope skin combination, it gives a tremendous spiritual, feeling. The reason why I said that, because it has been said that back in the days when the kora, was invented, it was people that played it, they used to call them court griot, which means a court musician, because those days the king will have sometimes difficulties to make a decision in the court, or sometimes something come and they're trying to think about what the solution is. So they have to invite the kora player to come and play a song before. So that playing the song that will give them a sense of mind, to be calm and to think ahead. So all these things I have learned from my parents. And as the time goes on back in those days also, it says that while the people preparing to go to the war, the king usually invite the Kora players to come to perform for the soldiers, so to get them prepared. So sometimes even those preparation, the soldiers will energize and then talk spiritually, talk and then talk about what they're going to do at the war and talk about their feeling, what the war is going to be like. So all this, become part of the repertoire of the griot or jali. And later on, and king also will let the soldiers go, and then when they come back, sometimes some of them get wounded. Sometimes some of them get lost of these spiritualities. So when they come back, and the king will invite these griot again to come to perform them. So those ones that get wounded, they could get healed, and those ones that they get lost in mind, they can calm down, and sometimes they even can feel like they want to say something real, what happened to them or what happened to other people during the time of the battle. So that's why I said is truly spiritual kind of music.
African Renaissance, Africa Renaissance. Africa networking. Africa open business. Africa.
Yes, my mother introduced me to Kora music when I was 13 or 14, and it was at a crossroads time in my life because I wound up going away to school for high school. And I remember it gave me so much peace.
Yes. Sometimes even the Kora player itself, it make you feel like, playing a song, you feel like you are, getting some kind of version for yourself to create something beside what you're doing. That also happened because when I remember when I was growing up, I used to play at night. So one day my dad told me, when everybody went to sleep, don't keep playing. Because the music is spiritual. So sometimes that's the time the spirit will feel you, whatever you're doing. And if you want to stop some point and they still want to hear the instrument, so it could be a problem.
In other words, distracting.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have an ancestor who is connected to the Kora?
Yeah, Jalimadi Wuleng. Jalimadi Wuleng is one of the creator of the Kora. And then back in those days, he was a very, very intelligent man and smart. But then he become so into the instruments. He played instruments, the older instrument that older than the Kora, which one called continuo. That's a 6-string instrument. So when he was growing up, and every time you see him, you see something in his hand, something he trying to do, either to fix it or to build it. So they gave him a name called Jalimadi Bulukulong, which means that the Jalimadi, you never see him without nothing in his hand. Every time you see him, there's something in his hand. So that shows tell the people that, and this man he must be a creator for something. So that been going on. So all of a sudden he come with the idea of the Kora. That's the time people said, "Oh wow, this is we thought so. We know this guy is gonna get something, out in the world that nobody ever see it or ever, know what it is."
Can you tell us a little bit about the festival and your involvement with the Festival of Possibilities and the Foundation for New American Art itself?
Yeah, festival was possibilities is the people that create that festival is they are phenomenal artists because all of them. For Bia is one of the artists and she is a very energetic person. She is not a only artist, but she knows how to put things together. I learned that she's been talking with a lot of friends that I used to work with them. And when I was contacted about the festival, I was like, wow, that's really interested because that area I used to perform there before the pandemic started. So when I told them about that, they said, wow. So that market is a very famous market in East Village.
Nice to be back in person with music.
Yes.
And also the Foundation for New American Art won a Challenge America grant from the National Endowment for the Arts to present a multidisciplinary concert to give hope and strength to low-income families of color. What are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be doing a lot of Jolly's repertoire. I'm going to be playing music. I'm going to be singing. And possibility, I'm going to be doing storytelling with the music because that's my repertoire. Rio is an entertainers, historian, and storytellers.
So I'm going to be playing African Renaissance. Do you want to share anything about this before I play it?
African Diaspora is a organization that Renaissance is people that dedicated and advocated for beautiful continent of Africa to support and to gain awareness of the whole diaspora of Africans and they're doing good, great job because I remember 2 years ago I was invited at the United Nations for African Renaissance program that the beginning of the pandemic started. And that was, they did a great job because they had, fundraising to, fight for, pandemic. So it's a lot of people, come out and with the larger amount of money, to put it out there, for the fight for the pandemic. So their dedication was a great for the communities, for the people of diaspora and people of Africa. So one of the president, Gordon Tapa, he was very wonderful person that always tried to put things right and to make sure everybody get on the same page to help Africa.
On the occasion of the African Open for Business. Best wishes to all the heads of states and diplomats attending the United Nations General Assembly. And all the civil society organizations working for the betterment of our people.
Thank you so much, Salieu, Suso, for joining us today.
You're welcome, Pandora.